Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Keeping It Real, and we're going to keep it real today. You're our live audience, and trust me, you're going to love it. We're going to talk to three guys that I brought back from the past in 2024 to have a discussion with us. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce them for you. But of course, I need the audience to participate. This is not no frozen chosen kind of talk show. You need to laugh, make some noise. So first up, the first man who ever lived. Make some noise for Adam. If he has a wardrobe malfunction, it's okay. It's okay. Come on, Adam, don't be shy. You can wave to the crowd. All right. The next man that we'll interview today, royalty, His Majesty, King Solomon. Make some noise. Make some noise. Okay. All right, well done, King Solomon. Even after all these years, he still has a thing with the ladies, but we'll get into that later. Last but not least, the sellout, Judas Iscariot. And he still has his 30 pieces of silver. All right. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. How are you guys feeling today? Good. All right. So, of course, we're going to get right into it. This is Keeping It Real. And we keep it real on this talk show. So, Adam, we're going to start with you. Tell us a little about yourself, because most of us here in 2024 have no idea who you are. So give us a little snippet of who you are.
All right, then. Hi, folks. My name is Adam. I'm the first man. It's a pleasure being here just for this short time period, just seeing what I've descended into. But I'm glad to be here. I was the first man God created with my beautiful wife, Eve. I was a farmer after, the whole situation, but I'm glad to be here. I hope that but we'll get into that, but I'm just glad to be here. Don't be shy. Ask me questions, and let's just have a great time, all right?
All right, thank you, Adam. So over to King Solomon. King Solomon, introduce yourself to our live audience today.
Good day, everyone. I mean, who doesn't know me? Come on. But if you don't know me, I'm King Solomon. I was one of the kings of Israel. I died a long time ago. I don't know how I'm here, but yeah. Yeah. And I was very rich. I don't know where my money gone. Ask the women. That's so true.
All right, but last but not least, the sellout.
I'm Judas, Did some things I'm not too proud of. But because they were done, God was able to come and save us. But that does not excuse what I did, but just saying.
Exactly. All right. So for the rest of the segment, we're just going to have a quick conversation with these guys, all right? And of course, if anybody in the audience has a question, I'll limit it to 1 or 2 questions. Because like I said, we want to be as interactive as possible. Adam, straight to the point.
All right.
Couldn't you tell Eve no?
Have you seen Eve?
No, I haven't.
All right,
I wasn't there, so describe her for us.
Well, what can't I say about her? She had these rosy cheeks, and, she had this personality about her that just captivated me. The first time I saw her, God put me to sleep, and by the time I woke up, I saw this beautiful woman right next to me. I was like, oh, okay, we're doing this now. So we know God brought us together, and then from there, I just knew she was the one. But in that moment, I was weak. I fell into temptation, and we know how that story went.
It didn't go too well.
No, it did not.
Yes.
I apologize. It's my fault.
No, for me personally, I would have loved to be in Eden. What was Eden like?
Oh, wow. Okay. Let me think of an example. You all know about the Amazon rainforest? All right, times that by 10. With more fruits in abundance, flowers that you've never seen before, and all the animals just running about, playing with one another. I had a pet. Named him Jeff, Yeah. And me and Jeff, he was a dinosaur. And, we ride all together and, do tasks together as well. But, I was charged in acts and naming all the animals, so I was pretty close to them. So, yeah, that's my experience.
All right, no problem. So in 2024, we recognize that ladies have a profound influence on men. Men? Okay, nobody's saying nothing. That's good. What advice can you give to men in 2024 to tell their wives or their girlfriends no, especially when the consequences could have a lifetime impact?
What do you think? He never said no.
I mean, I had guards, so when I said no, they couldn't really do anything.
Really? Well, trust me, in 2024 that don't work. Because we have thing called human rights and ladies' rights, and there are many rights. No wrongs, only rights. All right, but Adam,
Yes.
any advice for that before I move over to King Solomon?
Yeah, sure. One thing I would like to say to the men of the 21st century is to stick to your guns. Stick for what is right. Don't let anyone, whether it be your girlfriend or your wife, deter you and lead you in the wrong direction, because she's meant to be a helper. That's why God created Eve for me, to be helpers. Not that she's lesser than me, but we complement each other. He brought us together to become one flesh. So, as a man, as a woman, all you guys have to do is understand, come to understanding. Don't try to argue, don't try to fight. Sure, there's going to be arguments, but always, guys, stick to your guns. No means no.
All right, thank you, Adam. So over to King Solomon, the wisest man that ever lived. Bro,
So I'm told.
was it wise to have so many women? I mean, 700 wives, 300 concubines, and according to the scripture, they were all princesses. No, I understand you had a standard, but bruh, 1,000? Tell us about that.
Well, I didn't know it was that much. It felt like about 30 or so. But yeah, I lost count at about I don't even know. Was it wise? Probably not, because they caused me to die. So I would say no. Don't go doing that, guys. Don't do that. If it's one thing you can learn from me, don't do that. Yeah, stick to one. Yeah, be faithful. Yeah.
But you were faithful to the 1,000, weren't you?
Of course.
Okay, so talk about that instance when you had to make that decision regarding the baby. Was that hard for you to think about, have to cut a baby in half? I mean, just walk us through that whole ordeal.
I was kind of nervous at first because everybody was there, but then all of a sudden the idea just came to me and I thought it was good, so I did it. And thankfully, one of them came forth. I didn't want to cut a baby in half.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. And lastly, what words of advice, what words of wisdom would you partake to the live audience today and the millions watching by YouTube?
Let's see if I still have it after so many years. Well, my advice would be to think with your mind, not your heart. Adam, he allowed his heart to make Eve make us suffer. Us.
Okay, I apologize.
Samson, a judge that came before me, he was lustful and he allowed his heart to make him become easily manipulated. And me, I seeked worldly pleasures, and I allowed my heart to lead me despite all the wisdom God gave me. And that was my downfall. So, yeah, think with your mind, not your heart, because your heart doesn't have a brain.
All right. Thank you, King Solomon. Over to the sellout. It's 30 pieces of silver. I'm going to get straight to it. Why did you sell out Jesus like that? Why did you have to do him so dirty?
I was hoping they asked that question. Well, you know, in the moment, it just kind of happened. I wasn't really thinking. I had... Definitely not. You stay thinking with your heart. I was really going through a lot at the time. So when it happened and when they approached me, when they approached me and asked me to do what I didn't want to do, it just happened. It just happened. They offered 30 pieces of silver. At that time, that was a lot.
But even though, I mean, is the Son of God only 30, what am I to 100? 500 pieces of silver.
I'm saying, that's what you bought that with? That nasty fit you have?
You know, at the time, greed took over. And money is the root of all evil. Greed took over, and it just happened.
I mean, talk about even the Last Supper. Jesus indicated whoever dipped, and you still dip. You're so locked in, you couldn't even say no. Like, greed. You hungry too, bro?
Boy, you know, during the Last Supper, I did show up thinking, okay, we have a good meal and whatnot and whatnot. But then when the man that you call your best friend, your brother, look and say, one of you is going to betray me, and already know what was going to happen, it hit hard. It hit hard. But it was already in motion.
You couldn't take it back.
Couldn't take it back. So after I got the loaf of bread, I didn't want to, right? I didn't want to. But it just had to happen. It just had to, look at it this way. At the time it was greed, but look at it this way. Jesus got crucified for all of us, for all of our sins. So although my betrayal had hit hard, and it made me now the name Judas, known as the world's biggest traitor. Sellout, yeah. But in the end, my betrayal had a good consequence. But I'm not trying to justify betraying the Son of Man.
But Judas is kind of weird now because you're trying to justify it, but you still went and hung yourself. How does that work?
It was that much guilt. That much guilt. That same 30 piece.
Yeah.
I end up buy the land and end up kill myself.
On the land.
He probably wanted to apologize.
Really? So what advice would you give to people? Now, this is 2024, just to bring you up to speed. People betraying people left, right, and center. Friends stabbing friends in the back. Some families can't wait until their loved one die to fight over the piece of land that they leave back. So, Judas, what kind of word of advice would you give to men, women, society, and a whole in regards to that kind of lifestyle?
Well, when you think about betrayal, this even goes back before me. Think about Adam. His own wife, a woman made from his rib, betrayed him and made him eat that apple and brought sin into the world. My friend over here, his own wisdom, his own heart betrayed him, made him do foolish things. How much woman you may have? How much?
Definitely more than 30 pieces of silver.
Ah, boy.
Okay. But you had the wisdom. You knew that was wrong. But for this generation, betrayal is going to always be there. You can never force anyone to really stay and be loyal to you. I heard a wise man earlier mention the 14 rules of men. Never beg for a relationship, never beg for a friendship. So if somebody wants to leave, if somebody does you wrong, you let them go. You keep to your wise thoughts and say, you know what? I know what's inside of me. I know my integrity. I'm going to stay loyal to the end. So don't be like me, especially when it's someone of that stature.
All right, thank you, Judas. Put your hands together for our panel. Awesome. And thank you, live audience, for being awesome as well. I see we have a question in the back. Let me come down to you, Superintendent.
My opinion in that day, when I read the scriptures, Judas, he was jealous. He had jealousy in his heart because he think Jesus wasn't paying enough attention to him. Jesus was paying attention to the others like Peter and he got jealous of what was taken. Just like us, we are in a group and jealousy is going to come out of that group. Somebody is going to jealous about because they feel they should be in that position, and jealousy is going to come into their heart. And that's what happened. That is my opinion. And that's so when I read the scriptures, I meditate on it and say, look, this is what jealousy caused to a lot of us. Do not jealous people for what they have. Whatever you have, whatever you get in life, appreciate it. God already planned for you. You don't know what is going to happen down the road. But when you get to the situation and God's ready, He's going to say, Mr. Wilkins, this is my time with you. Come, I'm leading you down this road. I didn't believe I would ever become a police officer in my life. Never seen it. Friends telling me, you have to be, why don't you in the force, why don't do this? But things went another way. And eventually, a man, you see, yeah, God sent a man now. If you want to know a man named Mr. Greer. Mr. Greer saw him because he used to play cricket, and he come and say, I'm going to imitate it. Mr. Wilkins, you're going to have to come and play for the police force. And I said, Mr. Greer, I'm not in the police force. He said, I'm going to get you there. Then, what happened? It came. It came. I spent 32 years there. It came. And because of certain things I live, I would not bother you with that. Right? But what I'm saying, jealousy, what I predict out of that what you're playing, that what you're showing here, that little script, you can see jealousy. Mr. Solomon had a lot of money, and he think all the girls was his. But he did not know that one day, when God ready for him, that money would have disappeared. It disappeared. When he took the sword to depart the baby into, that was a knowledge from God. Yep. He didn't know it, but God gave him that wisdom to separate so the two ladies would not suffer. And the one that have the baby said, look, give it, because she had God in her heart, and the baby must live. You understand me? Adam, men, that's what we are. Men. Our eyes are long, and we see things in a different world. But you did not realize that God gave you that woman as a helper. And he didn't want you to give up on her. Yes, she did wrong. The evil one tempted her. But you see, you was the one that had power. And I think what happened in him, he didn't want to put her away because she was the first female in life. And he had to have someone. So what he did wrong. He knew what he did was wrong. Because you see what he did? Went away, clothed himself, and when Jesus called him, he said, I went because I was naked. How you know you're naked? How did you know you were naked? Because he knew he did wrong. Because all the time God came and called him, he went. But on this time, he knew he was naked. Because in himself, he knew he did wrong. And it's a good play. Things like this will educate our younger generation and let them understand what life is all about. And I'm going to say, not because Adam put his wife away, you put away your wife. Some of us do that. But You know, me and my wife, almost together nearly 50 years. Wow. Right? Understand? And she have do things that I don't like, but I am a peaceful man. I go into my home and listen to the younger people. Listen to this. You go into your home when you're married, and you go to your home, when you go home and you meet her in the kitchen, you go and you hug up and hit her in the bum and say, this is mine, this is mine. Yeah, no, you have to make her know that you appreciate her and always want to stand with her.
Thank you so much. You can learn so much from the more seasoned folks. So thank you, my brother superintendent. Appreciate it. Thank you, live audience.
But Smitty.
Hey.
But it sounds like the superintendent wiser than this man over here.
Well, guess
maybe
what?
if you were back in my day, that betrayal would have happened, boy. He would have had so much woman and...
Well, we know how that goes. So people, we're going to continue keeping it real, and we will continue this next segment another time. Thank you so much for being an amazing audience. Thank you, guys.